And good morning. We're live on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. Boom! Boom! Scary! Ooh, scary! Ooh! Happy Halloween, everyone! It's a Philly Fanatic! It's scary! Jerry thought this his new toy. Good morning. I'm gonna turn off the music here. And it's a Monday. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. I am wearing my Phillies garb because I realized I didn't do a show on Saturday and I didn't have my Phillies garb and we didn't win. But when I wore this the other day, we won. So I try to keep it up here with the Phillies. Sorry. And again, I'm not going to talk about Phillies topics, but go Phils. Anyway, so today on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, I want to talk about four scary monsters. And this is just the scariest thing I can find in the house. He's so cute. The Philly Fanatic. Because I was looking for masks and said, there's no scary masks in the house. I'm like, what kind of thing is this? Anyway, so I want to talk about four scary monsters in Scrum that everyone's so scared about, but in the end, they really aren't that scary. How I get this idea. I was going to talk about management. I want to talk about something in the Scrum Guide, one of the four scary monsters. I'm going to talk about tomorrow. So I'm going to just talk about three today. What are the four scary monsters in Scrum? You'll have to find out. Anyway, it's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. We'll talk about the story. Last night, I took my son and two of his buddies, to a haunted house and kind of describe how that relates to what teams see and people see in Scrum and how they're really scary. And then until you get there, it's not that scary. So I'll talk about that today because I thought it was cute. It was a great evening. So it's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And here in the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, we talk about Scrum and Agile in a very practical and tactical way so you can deliver value to your customers, not work crazy hours, and get home to family and friends, have some fun, maybe do some trick-or-treating early today and not be late for it, and go hang out with your family and long-term fun. It should be good. Though apparently I got to do stuff today. I didn't really want to. But anyway, 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. And we're going to talk about the four scary monsters in Scrum that I see that teams get scared about that really not scary. And it started off, I want to talk about last night going to a haunted house here in South Philly with my son and two of his buddies. And it was great. It was fun. And last year, him and his buddy went, and his buddy's older brother got so scared, didn't make it through. He just panicked and ran away. Oh, poor guy. But him and his buddy went through it, and now they're experts. They still get scared to death. I'll tell you that right now. It's cute. It's cute watching them all run around. Oh, man. Anyway, so last night, his buddy, one of his buddies that finally was able to join us, which is great. I think they loved having him. And they went through the haunted house. Since the guys went to it last year, they kind of knew what was there. So they were a little more prepared, helping his buddy who was terrified. I mean, I'm going to tell you, the poor kid was just had tears, right? And you would think I was doing child abuse. But he, even before we got in, just in a line, just the panic and the fear and everything. And I'm like, and I was reflecting on that this morning while I was listening to some podcasts and just listening to different people talk. And I'm like, oh my God, it's just like Scrum teams, right? They panic. They get so scared. Everything's so bad. And it was interesting watching him. Of course, I'm like, coach, I'm observing things. I'm just having fun too. I was making sure he was okay most of the time. They just didn't totally melt. But at first it was scary. And as he went through the process, and we told them they were actors and but they can still, even though, even me, like, that they can make it through it and enjoy it. And as he went through the process, through the haunted house, and we tell him, hey, we're almost there. We're 3/4 way through, we're halfway through, whatever. He got more comfortable and wasn't so panicked. And I think he was enjoying it more, the interacting with the actors in the haunted house and everything, and just getting into it and just experiencing it. And it was interesting. So he was panicked to the point of almost petrified fear in the beginning, but by the time they get to the end, he was cruising. Everything was good. Well, he was still getting scared, but he was enjoying it more and comfortable with his friends. And he wasn't, I'll tell you, my arm hurt afterwards. I thought I couldn't feel anything, but he let go a little bit. He experienced it, enjoyed it, and it was fun. And it's the same experience I see with a lot of Scrum teams. So, what are those four scary monsters that Scrum teams work? And I'm going to tell you, maybe I should take what are the scariest monsters you think that are in Scrum? Maybe you should. I'll put that up on LinkedIn. Maybe. So one is the stakeholder. I'm going to tell you how scared these Scrum teams are. These stakeholders, they are petrified of standing in front of the stakeholders and presenting and sharing and talking with them a lot of times. And they're not the only ones. And management are the same way. We'll talk about that another day. Another one, making mistakes. Mistakes is like the second scary monster in Scrum, and being transparent about mistakes and working together to fix those mistakes, or not knowing something, or asking. And this is the third one, the teammates, right? The third one. So you got mistakes. So one, you got meeting with stakeholders. Two, you got mistakes. Three, the teammates. In Scrum, you actually have to work with people, a team. A lot of waterfall. You don't really have to work with team. You go off and do your thing. You never interact with anybody. But in Scrum, the expectation, if you get stuck, you make a mistake, you work with your team. Your teammates have your back. Your teammates have it. And what really made me think about the teammates was these three little amigos going through the haunted house, and they had each other's back, and they were just going around. It's like, but it was so cool watching them as buddies go through this thing. I was there. I tell you, apparently they had me. I had both hands. I didn't have any hands. They were holding both my hands, and I couldn't do anything. I was pretty much stuck. But it was neat watching them as teammates work together. So that's the third one. So the first one is stakeholders, is a scary monster. Two is making mistakes and being transparent about those mistakes. Three is the teammates, and it's working with them and asking them for help. It's a scary thing. It really is. And then the fourth one is the manager. The manager, scary monster number 4. I know it sounds terrible, but it is kind of true. Everyone's worried what their manager is going to say if they show the weakness or have a mistake or don't, the customer, the stakeholder gets upset, and the manager going to get upset, and they're going to get upset, and everything's going to go downhill. So those are the 4 scary monsters as I see it. There's probably more out there. Feel free to comment if you see other scary monsters in Scrum and Agile, pretty much. So the first one is stakeholders. Second one is mistakes. Third one is the teammates. And fourth one are the managers. I'm not going to talk about managers so much today because I'm going to do an episode tomorrow that I had already planned. I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about this subject, but I'll talk about it tomorrow. So maybe there'll be a fourth scary monster discussion story. Maybe we'll tell you. I should say a scary tale about managers. Ooh, it's Halloween. So we'll do that tomorrow. So what do you need to do to help? Why does Scrum help you? What do you need to do as an Agile coach to tackle those scary monsters, right? So it's much, and a Scrum Master, by the way, it's your job as a Scrum Master, and you can't be scared. So I had to be like the Scrum Master. This is my team. I'm protecting my team, but I had to get them going through the haunted house. They had to experience it. They had to work their way through it, and that's your job as Scrum Master. It's not to call mom, though. I was tempted. I'd be honest with you. I'm telling the truth. I was almost ready to throw the towel in with this new buddy. I was worried death about him. But you know what? I said, you know what? You're going to regret it if you don't do it. And your buddies, and they'll give you all kinds of crud in school, whatever. So we all went through it, and I didn't call his mom, pick him up, blah, blah, blah. It's like, do it. You're growing up here. It's time to go through it. So the job of the Scrum Master is to help the teams go through these experiences, survive them, and say it's not that bad, right? So when we went through the scary things, so think about it, stakeholders. Getting the Scrum Master's job, Agile coach job, is to get people used to talking to the stakeholders, introducing them, maybe gradually, not like tragic like Halloween, scary thing, but to get them in there, right? So in a sprint review, talk about a sprint review where you're showing off some software, maybe get some rust off, just showing off to your teammates first, and then getting out there and talking to the stakeholders. And the same thing on the sprint planning, inviting them in, inviting stakeholders into your Scrum ceremonies. I know so many people, oh no, we don't let stakeholders in. I'm like, okay, at first, but you shouldn't be afraid of anything, right? At some point in time, you do this so many times, you are so comfortable with what you do, bringing stakeholders into the daily Scrum, not the retro, but into daily Scrum, sprint planning, and sprint review is not a bad thing. It's not going to hurt you. And our jobs as Scrum Master and as coaches is to bring that, make that happen, so that interaction happens more and more and more and more and more, and people can see how things are going. Mistakes, right? Again, making mistakes, elevating. You don't know how many teams are so terrified of showing they have a blocker or an impediment to doing their job. I mean, absolutely terrified. It's the scariest. You'd be amazed how just putting a little trigger on things can be the scariest things in a team. But you know what? You have to, as a Scrum Master, do it. You have to let them say, I have a problem. Raise the hand. I don't know. I'm stuck. I'm blocked. It's so important to do that. And I know it's a scary monster in Scrum, but that's how we get past that. We get work done quicker, faster, better, right? We get better quality work because you are stuck. Then you bring in swarming into the whole team to help you solve that problem. And you come up with a better product in the end, hopefully, should be. And our job as a Scrum Master, as a coach, is to help them, guide them through that process. Again, that's scary monster number 2. And scary monster number 3, the teammates. Nobody wants to fail in front of their teammates. Nobody wants to ask for help. And in this case of walking through that, these 3 little buddies are as a team, right? They're teammates. And I didn't want the one new buddy to fail. And as a Scrum Master, come along with your crew. You're going to enjoy this. You're going to have a good time. You're going to talk about this for years after this event and how scary it was, but you made it, where all your little classmates didn't make it. But they got that little bonding there of going through that haunted house. And it's scary. It's a scary monster. Teammates are a scary monster. And then the fourth one, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow, is the managers, right? But our job as Scrum Masters and as a coach is to put our arms around the team late. And it was funny. I could say, it's like I put my arms around the team, or they hold my hands, and my hands are behind my back, depending where they were during the walkthrough of the haunted house. But then as they went, they let go. They let go of that at first. Oh, they were hiding behind me. But as they went, they all matured. They got their own little thing, their little boxers or whatever. Oh, they're all taking on the monsters. So it was really cool. So as they started as a Scrum Master should, or as a coach, yes, you hold their hand, you're helping them out. But as they go, they mature and they branch out for themselves, and they're not as scared anymore. And it doesn't take that long. I mean, we spent an hour waiting in line to go through it, and it took 15, 20 minutes to go through it. But by their time, they really got it. They were scared to death, but they had a blast, right? And I think what we as Scrum Master now need to convey to everyone, yes, it's scary, but you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy that camaraderie, the teamwork, having people make mistakes, progressing through mistakes with teammates, meeting the stakeholders, seeing that achievement, seeing what the customer likes. You're going to love that in the end. And our job is convey that as we go. Trust me, it's scary now, but you're going to enjoy it in the end, and you're going to like what you do, and you're going to be more productive and more enjoying. So that's what I have today on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Happy Halloween! Oh, hope you have a great day. Happy Scrumming, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye. See ya. And we're out.